Bill, welcome to our event, Smart Grid Summit.
Thank you, John.
This is Bill Vogel, founder of Trilliant, and you're based in Redwood City, California, correct?
Yes.
And you have offices in Toronto, which is big,
and Quebec.
and Quebec, so that's a connection that we have. So as one of the founders here for the Smart Grid event, Shadan and I being based both in Toronto, that's kind of been our first starting point for approaching companies, and our paths eventually got to Trilliant, and we were very happy to have you guys come by and speak on our sessions today. So I'd like to maybe just hear a little bit from you more directly about, first of all, the whole demand response element. How does that fit into the overall smart grid spectrum?
Well, in many ways, demand response is the underlying driver for smart grid, which is a very broad subject for the energy business. Reducing the time at which all of us need the same amount of power is a huge benefit, both from a cost and economy perspective, but also from an environmental perspective. Less power plants, because we're using our energy more efficiently and more effectively.
Yes. So do you think there's a bigger issue of the demand for energy outpacing the supply, or the efficient management of the energy we can produce today?
I think they're both. They kind of meet in the middle. The demand is growing at 3 times the rate that our overall growth is growing. So we're all essentially needing it all in the same hours during the year or the day. And it's a combination of factors. We're consuming more applications per home. Each one of those assets is demanding power at the same time, and then you have the effects of the environment and the weather, which is demanding more air conditioning at the same time.
Sure. And so where are the utilities finding literally the most utility for demand response? Is it more about managing the grid, or is it more about protecting revenues and kind of giving value for the subscriber?
It's about managing the grid, reducing the amount of assets I need to accomplish the job.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of parallels to me, this is why we're here at the Smart Grid, to telecom, where the move to IP networks has been similar about creating network efficiencies, where only later the applications benefits for the subscribers started to become very real. And I'm hoping that once demand response does become part of the smart grid, literally, that those new applications will start to become more, I think, obvious to the consumer, and that will drive demand for new services.
I hope so as well.
So are there some certain areas then, Bill, that you see that are most promising?
Well, certainly the lowest hanging fruit is the ability to manage heating and ventilation systems at the peak time. The second is to give consumers information and easy ways to become overall more efficient, so the house itself actually uses less power. And the last is to make the utility more aware of what's going on out and amongst their enterprise that's providing the service,
yes,
where their resources and assets are, and what is needed and where, and what's broken and what's not.
Okay, and then this would be part of the larger FAN infrastructure, right?
Exactly.
Right. And so once these networks become smart and ability to handle two-way information, do you see the utilities starting to evolve? I mean, do you think that their businesses are going to actually transform with these new capabilities?
Well, that's a market structure question as well as a technology question, but there is a school of thought that says that utilities are essentially asset managers like the cable companies. It doesn't really matter how many kilowatts are going through the wires per se. It's more about making sure that the infrastructure is connected for providing the service, and that the end use application, the type of energy use, would be the differentiation. That's a fairly far out future for some.
Yes, yes.
But with the advent of electric vehicles and other completely different ways of using electricity and generating electricity out on the grid, everybody's kind of looking at the whole framework and saying what's going to make sense in the future.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of future to talk about, so let's save that for future interviews, because this is a long, long story, and we're just here at the beginning, and it's great. So thank you very much, Bill, for coming by and doing an interview with us, and let's enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.